Good afternoon, Fin fans, and welcome back to another episode of AT Fins News. So now that the NFL draft is behind us, we're going to be taking a look at a couple draft picks the Miami Dolphins selected that could not only have a immediate impact on the future of this franchise, but have a lasting impact up for this franchise. So without further ado, let's just get right into it, shall we? So let me first off start by saying I would have never thought in a million years that Channing Tindall would have been available at pick 102. So in my previous video, when I did like a couple names or a few names that the Miami Dolphins fans should be keeping their ear out for in the draft night, it was just based on how I thought the draft board would fall. But not many people thought Channing Tindall was going to be available at 102. It wasn't even in my thought process, so I didn't even want to put his name out there for Dolphin fans to get their hopes up because, I thought he was going to go in the 70s, 80s at the latest. I had no idea he was going to be left there at 102 for us to snag him up. And not only for the Dolphins to have the ability to pick him, but the fact of the matter is that they actually selected that guy. It was extremely surprising for me. I was shocked when I first heard it. I jumped on Twitter, started tweeting a couple things, started retweeting a couple YouTubers, just because of how excited I was. There's one thing to have a guy available for you to select at your pick, and there's another thing to actually move forward with that selection that you know you need. We've been banging the table for a year or two that we need a true middle linebacker. And what did we go out there and do in the draft? Finally solidified the middle linebacker position, in my opinion, for the next 10 years, barring any injuries. I know, injuries happen year in and year out to every team. But as long as this man can stay healthy, I'm not saying, guys, that he's going to be a day one starter for sure. But what I am saying, if he gets the proper teaching and coaching, which I believe he will do in this defense with these defensive coaches, then he could be one of the best middle linebackers we have ever had. I know I've seen a lot of people on Twitter and social media claiming that he could be the next Zach Thomas. I'm not going to go that far yet. I almost feel like that's kind of disrespectful to Zach Thomas just because he is, in my opinion, the greatest linebacker I've ever seen on the Dolphins. Or one of them, but I'm not gonna put that name on Channing Tindall right now, comparing him to Zach Thomas. But he has a lot of intangibles, and he has an extremely high upside that can make this one of the best third round picks we've ever selected. I know we've had some success in the future with third round picks like Brandon Jones, but those are diamonds in the rough. But this Channing Tindall guy, man, he fits everything that we need as far as a middle linebacker. He's instinctive. If you watch film at him at Georgia, he can fly down the field sideline to sideline. He's a for sure tackler, so he's not going to let running backs break tackles in the holes and get an extra 4 or 5 yards. He's going to stop them at impact and push them backwards more often than not. His 40 times a sub 4.5. He ran an actual 4.47 40. So he's extremely fast. I believe there was only one other linebacker that ran a sub 4.5, and him. There was only two guys in this year's draft that ran a sub 4.5 40. So even I know the pick, a lot of there's a lot of negative comments regarding his pass coverage, and he's going to be like another Landon Roberts. I don't believe so. I know he struggles in pass coverage, but this is what we got to realize. He is so fast at the middle linebacker position that even when he does make mistakes, because you know he's going to make mistakes as a rookie or even a first-year starter, when he gets that opportunity, is he has speed to recover from those mistakes. There's some middle linebackers, guys, that run 4.7s, 4.8s, that if they make a mistake in pass coverage, that their receiver that they're covering or going through their zone could slip out and break it to the house, right, with the speed the NFL receivers and tight ends have now. But when you run a 4.47 40, even if he makes a mistake or steps the wrong way to begin with, and a receiver gets over the top of him, or even crosses through his eyesight because he took a wrong step, he has recovering speed that he's going to make up for it and not let that receiver or tight end break it and take it all the way to the house, right? So he's going to minimize that mistake. Even though it was a mistake, he's going to be able to make up for it because of his makeup speed. So that's a blessing in disguise as well. So for people out there saying he's not going to be able to learn to pass coverage, we don't know that he's not going to be able to learn to be in pass coverage, because all the experts and everything say his upside is so huge. So how do you know in a year or two, when he gets the proper coaching and figures out his technique to perfection, how do we know he can't be a great pass coverage linebacker? Because he has the speed already. Now he just needs to perfect that technique, and he can be a game changer at the middle linebacker position. I'm telling each and every one of y'all. He has all the instincts that a middle linebacker need, as far as reading the play, diagnosing the play as quick as possible, especially in run. When it's a running play, he can diagnose that in a snap of a finger. His sideline to sideline speed is excellent. Like I said, he's going to just have to work at that pass coverage, and I have no doubt in my mind that he can become a, if not excellent pass coverage linebacker, at least a good pass coverage linebacker. And that's really all we're asking for, is that for that position at middle linebacker. Then now we can move Jerome Baker full-time to a weak side linebacker where he thrives the most. But we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. That's when he becomes the middle linebacker on this team. I don't think he's going to be the day one starter, like I said, but I do believe that he's going to get a lot of playing time this year, just because a lot of people don't know this, but at Georgia, he played multiple positions. He didn't just play middle linebacker. He can go and play outside linebacker. So I believe maybe if Jalen Phillips, they need to give him a break so he doesn't see so many snaps, they can put him at outside linebacker at that position. He can thrive at that as well. If Jerome Baker gets hurt, he can play weak side linebacker. Alandon Robert gets hurt, he can see playing time there right away, obviously, at middle linebacker. So I believe he's going to get plenty of snaps this year for the upcoming season, but I believe in year two, he's going to be the for sure middle linebacker starter. There's no questions asked, and he's going to be ready to go full throttle after being in the system for a year and learning the playbook, at least the defensive schemes that the Miami Dolphins want to install for this defense. So once that second year hits, it's all systems go, and he's going to be ready to dominate, in my opinion. So I believe the Miami Dolphins at this pick got a steal, and I believe that they couldn't have got any better than Channing Tindall at 102. I mean, I was worried. I wasn't really worried, I would say, but I was ready for them to say Lindstrom, I believe his name is. He was a center. I thought for sure they were going to go and get like a safe, easy pick. We all know that we probably need to upgrade at center. But I just love that the Miami Dolphins finally identified a guy with extreme high upside that's already arguably the best Georgia linebacker out of the whole middle line, or the whole linebacking core last year, as far as his physical capabilities. And for the Miami Dolphins to understand that and to believe in their coaching staff to teach and coach this kid to become a great, I love it. I also love how when Mike McDaniel reached out to him about being a Miami Dolphin, Mike McDaniel said, congratulations on being like the first pick for me as a head coach. And Channing Tindall said, I won't disappoint you. And I just love that in the kid, as far as his personality, that he doesn't want to disappoint the person that gave him this opportunity. And we've had a lot of disappointments in the past, guys, as far as draft picks. And it was just refreshing to hear. I mean, I'm not saying he's for sure he's not going to be a bust or this or that, or he's going to make it for sure in this league and be a Pro Bowler, but I just love that personality where I'm going to get after it every day, and I'm not going to disappoint you or let you down because you're the one that gave me this opportunity. So I believe he has all the makings of being a really good middle linebacker in this league, and I'm just excited to see how they utilize him in this upcoming season. and once he becomes the for sure middle linebacker starter, how good and how his stats increase each and every year. Because even the Georgia coaches said, because he played all 4 years at Georgia, I believe he was a senior this year, that each year he got better and better and better. And that's all you can ask for as a player, to improve each year. Even if it's a gradual improvement, as long as you're not getting worse, you're getting better. That's all we can ask for, right? So I believe we got a steal there. As far as I believe we got him in the 4th round. Yeah, it was the 4th round. That receiver, Eric Azikama, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. It's kind of a weird or hard pronunciation, so I hope I didn't butcher it too much. But we can all forget about that Deebo Samuel to Miami talk now. just based on how Mike McDaniel wants to use this kid, I believe they're going to use him as a bigger, faster Deebo Samuel, because he does have a faster 40 time. He's a lot bigger than Deebo Samuel. He's 6'3", 220 pounds. So we got a big physical wide receiver, which is a good thing because we kind of had smaller receivers after the Devontae Parker trade. But it's good that Mike McDaniel identified this is what he needs. And I believe he's going to mold this kid to be a Deebo Samuel prototype, but just a lot bigger and a lot faster, which is scary for the NFL to think about. If you can have a bigger, faster version of Deebo Samuel, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, right? And to be able to get this kid in the 4th round, if you guys want to go watch his highlight tapes, you're going to see what I'm talking about as a Mike McDaniel pick, because he does. They used him at Texas Tech like I believe Mike McDaniel wants to use them. A lot of bubble screens. They gave him a lot of motion, so he would motion in the backfield a lot. What does Mike McDaniel like to utilize? The motion offense, bubble screens. We'll probably hand him off on jet sweeps because he's fast. And if you watch him break tackles in college, he's really physical. I believe he had like 9 yards after contact, so he can break tackles and go to the house and take it a long distance. So this is why I say we need to stop the Deebo Samuel to Miami talks now. This is going to be our Deebo Samuel. I'm not saying he's going to make an immediate impact this year on this team, just based on the receiving core we have now. I mean, it's hard for me to see him get a whole lot of playing time because he's going to be behind Tyreek Hill. He's going to be behind Jalen Waddle. He's going to be behind Cedric Wilson. He's going to be behind Lynn Bowden. I'm not too sure about the Preston Williams because, he never can stay healthy. But he'll probably be behind Preston Williams unless he's not healthy, which we don't expect that to happen. So he'll probably be at worst the 5th on the depth chart as far as receiving. So he will get maybe some playing time here and there to get some experience, or barring injury, which we hope we don't have in the receiving core. So we give Tua as many weapons as he needs to get us over that hump. But if we do have injuries in the receiving core, he's going to be able to step in, I believe, and give us some production on the field. But I'm really looking forward to seeing his progression in about year 2 or 3. I believe our coaching staff, especially on the offensive side of the ball, is going to be good at developing players. And I think this is a perfect guy they see as a prototype to mold them to however they want to see fit. So I see him more as if all pans out like an A.J. Brown type, just because how big he is, how physical he is, how high points the football, how he can play through contact. As far as there's a few touchdowns he's made where there's cornerbacks jumped all over his back where it's a PI call right away, and he still out physicals them and jumps up and catches the ball and scores the touchdown without needing that pass interference call, which is good to see because there's some receivers in the NFL that just are looking for that call. This guy can actually play through that contact, make the play, and not rely on the pass interference call. So that's another good thing as far as his capabilities are concerned. So even though we only had 4 draft picks this year, guys, I believe we did the best job we could have done with where we were selecting. we got 2 more draft picks that we'll probably talk about in a later episode. I just really wanted to get your guys all the information you guys needed for our first 2 picks of this year's draft, and the 2 players that I believe are going to make the biggest impact on this franchise in not only the immediate future, but in the future years beyond just next year. But we'll talk more about the other 2 picks on a later stream. I know we got a running back, or not a running back, I'm sorry, another linebacker, which is always good. He's more of like a depth piece. I don't see him too much of being a starter here, but he can definitely come in when people are injured and help us out, and we won't lose that big of a step. As well as we got, I'm sure you guys know Skylar Thompson, I believe his name is, from I think he's from Kansas State as a quarterback. There was a lot of mixed opinions on that, of course, with the Tuaneers and people that can't believe we selected a quarterback. But hey, I'm all here. I'm here for it. To see what they can develop and how they develop a quarterback, and who knows, maybe they can flip him for something else if he turns out to be good. So I think it's all. Every one of our picks was a good pick this year, but we'll go more into that as training camp gets closer. But I just wanted to get on here, guys, and go over the picks that I believe that are going to have a high impact on this franchise moving forward. But other than that, guys, I'm going to end this stream right now. Like always, please hit that like button when you come into the channel. If you're new to the channel, if you guys can hit that subscribe button just to help our channel grow organically, which we have been growing slowly, and things are just getting better and better, guys, on this end. We're going to be coming out with more videos as soon as like training camp starts, but as of right now, I come out with 1 or 2 videos a week. When training camp starts, there'll for sure be 2 videos a week going over our team. But other than that, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you all. I love each and every one of y'all. You guys have a great week. And fins up, guys. I love you guys. Peace. I'm out.